I call a member for Hinkler.
Speaker, it's a great pleasure to see you in the chair and certainly to respond to some of the comments by the member for Hunter. And I'd say to the member for Hunter, who I get on with well, I have to say, I get on with well. He asked the question in the opening of the MPI. He asked the question: when was the last time anyone mentioned the agricultural white paper? Well, I can say to the member for Hunter, it's very clear. It was in last week's edition of the Queensland Country Life. In fact, you provided a quote, and your quote was this: "The insurance risk mitigation seems the obvious model," said Mr Fitzgibbon. This is an initiative in the government's agricultural white paper, which I welcome. So here it is. Right? There it is, Queensland Country Life, glowing endorsement. You support the agricultural white paper. You also mentioned the Deputy Prime Minister's op-ed, which was out this week. And the line from the op-ed that stuck with me, Mr Deputy Speaker, was quite simply this. There was a line in there that said, "You're about to be hit in the face by the stick called reality." Well, this is the reality. If you talk about renewables, we should be talking to the people who have technical knowledge. We should know, those people who have technical knowledge, how to actually operate a system, a power network, generators, coal-fired power stations, hydro, solar, all of those things. Because the reality is very, very straightforward. Mr Deputy Speaker, I've actually got a degree in electrical engineering, majored in power systems, a trade as an electrician. Now, what I can say to the member for Hunter is pretty straightforward. We need to get away from the policy wonks. We need to get away from the arguments. We need to provide a reliable supply which can be afforded by the people who have to pay the costs. Right? That is the stick called reality. Someone has to pay the bill, and at this stage it is the poorest people in our communities. We cannot continue to do that. Now, you talk about the age of a power station, the age of a power station. Well, they actually get maintained, would you believe? Right? Every year there's a program of maintenance. They get upgraded. In fact, the Korea Hydro Station up in Tully, my understanding, it was actually opened in 1955. It actually works perfectly well, gets upgraded constantly. Here it is, perfectly good renewable energy which works as a peaker. It's something which I support. There should be more of it. And when we talk about hydro, we need dams. Yeah. And the question I put to the member for Hunter is this. You've stated there will be no dams. Do you have knowledge of the Queensland Labor Party's position? Are they not intending to build any dams in Queensland? We have put forward over $100 million to build dam infrastructure. That's true, though. $100 million. It's true. Dams means jobs. Yep. It means increasing the value of agricultural land. It means further production. Now, we've spent an awful lot of time signing up free trade agreements with South Korea, with Japan, with China, providing opportunities and market access for our producers, for our services. We've increased our tourism. In fact, tourism is an enormous contributor to the Australian economy. But one of the questions I also would put to the member for Richmond, simply saying something doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't matter how many times you say it, it doesn't make it true. Now, when you talk about the Nationals, we should look at the reality. The reality is the Nationals held every seat and every senator and gained one. That's right. So the people of Australia support the Nationals. That's right, they do. They gained them all. Won every seat. Didn't lose a single seat. Not one. In fact, they maintained the seat of Capricornia. Right? The member for Capricornia, Michelle Landry. What a great member. Right? Targeted by every union under the sun, held onto the seat. No problems at all. But we are doing things for regional Australia. We continue to do them. And if we talk about the backpacker tax, the reality is very straightforward. Every single person who is out there that operates a farm that needs labour short-term, that needs large lumps and large pools of labour to get their crop off, does need a flexible workforce. Right. Now, that has been provided by backpackers. Yep. Now, the reality is they're not workers. They are tourists. Right. They come to this country to see our nation. They do work while they are here. They should contribute to the taxation system. And if we accept that, the only debate becomes about the value. Now, we have put forward a proposition at 19% with consultation with stakeholders. The stakeholders agree. They support 19%. They support it wholeheartedly. So right now, the agricultural community needs certainty. They are out there right now. They are ringing your offices and they are saying, get on with it, because I can tell you the reality is these are the people who build into our economy. They provide jobs. They pay their bills, unlike many others on the other side of the House. They get on with it. The people on this side of the House, we understand because a lot of us have actually done it. That's right. We've been out there, we had dirt under our fingernails. We've taken the risks as well. We understand what it's like to be short on cash flow, to have filled your overdraft. To have someone turn around now, after all of the months of negotiation, and say that they will not support this bill is outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
Shameful.
You should be out supporting our agricultural producers. They are at a time when they can make money. For the first time in a very long time, they can be out making money. They continue to support them. I would say to the crossbench, I would say to the opposition, and particularly Senator Lambie, go and talk to your cherry producers because they're going fantastically well. And if they leave that crop in the field, they'll not make a cent.
Hear, hear.